All right, so today we're diving into the future of film.
Okay.
And no, it's not just about spaceships and laser beams.
Right.
Although I'm sure there will be plenty of that.
Yeah.
We're talking about how AI is changing the game.
Yeah.
From how movies get made to the very stories they tell.
What's fascinating is how AI is poised to impact filmmaking on every level, from the technical aspects to the heart of storytelling.
Yeah.
We're even talking about the nature of creativity itself.
Right. And to really understand the potential here, we need to rewind a bit.
Okay.
Picture this. It's 2016.
Okay.
A film called Sunspring premieres. And it's making waves. Not just for its bizarre sci-fi story, but for who, or rather what wrote it.
Sunspring was penned by an AI.
Okay.
And while the film itself is a bit all over the place, I mean, we're talking characters coughing up eyeballs and dialogue. That sounds like it was run through a blender.
Wow.
It marked a turning point.
Yeah, it definitely made everyone stop and go, hold on, can machines really do that?
Exactly. Sunspring sparked a wave of questions about AI's role in storytelling. Could it ever truly replace human screenwriters?
Right.
Would we be watching movies written entirely by algorithms? It was like the machines are coming scenario, but for Hollywood.
Okay, so fast forward to today.
Okay.
We've got research, we've got industry reports, and we've even got a fascinating curveball for you.
Okay.
A little something from the world of French New Wave cinema.
Oh,
trust me, it all connects. But first, let's dig into that research and see what the data tells us about AI's impact on filmmaking.
We've got excerpts from a 2024 paper, Revolutionizing Filmmaking, fresh out of the Journal of Autonomous Intelligence. Now, this paper is a bit dense.
Okay.
But it lays out a bold argument. AI has the potential to transform practically every stage of movie production.
And they're not just talking about making things faster or cheaper, although it does that too. What really jumped out at me was their analysis of 10 key factors in filmmaking.
Right.
Time, cost, manpower, even the quality of the final product, comparing traditional methods to AI-generated filmmaking.
And the results are pretty astounding. The study found that on average, AI-generated filmmaking could improve the overall process by a whopping 43%.
43%. That's huge. What does that even mean in practical terms?
Wow.
Does that mean better movies? Does it mean more movies? Help me understand this.
It's not just about quantity, although that's part of it. This 43% improvement represents a potential paradigm shift in how we think about filmmaking. It means greater accessibility, allowing indie filmmakers and smaller studios to achieve a level of quality previously out of reach.
Right.
It means enhanced flexibility with AI tools offering real-time solutions on set and in the editing room. And perhaps most excitingly, it points towards a future of amplified creativity, where AI becomes a partner in pushing the boundaries of storytelling.
So it's less about robots replacing directors and more about giving filmmakers these incredible new tools to work with.
Precisely. Imagine a world where AI can analyze mountains of data. Scripts, storyboards, even raw footage, identifying patterns and possibilities that humans might miss.
Wow.
Need to punch up a scene.
Yeah.
AI can suggest alternative dialogue or camera angles, lighting not quite right. AI can tweak it in post-production with incredible precision. The possibilities are mind-boggling.
Okay, now this is where it gets really interesting for me. We're talking about AI analyzing the emotional impact of a film moment by moment.
We're talking about the ability to map a film's emotional arc with the level of detail never before possible.
Okay.
And to really grasp this, we need to bring in our next source, a 2017 report from McKinsey titled AI in Storytelling, Machines as Co-Creators.
This report uses the opening montage of Up as an example.
Okay.
And as someone who's a sucker for a good animated montage, I was immediately hooked. You know the scene I'm talking about, right? Carl and Ellie's life together all those years condensed into a few heart-wrenching minutes.
A perfect example. The AI analyzed that sequence, breaking down the visuals, the music, everything. Okay. And it pinpointed the exact moment when the mood shifts from joyous to bittersweet. It recognized the subtle ways in which the music swells, the colors soften, as the montage transitions from Carl's childhood to Ellie's decline.
So the AI is picking up on those subtle cues the same way a human viewer would, but with even more precision. That's incredible and a little bit unnerving, if I'm being honest.
It does raise some big questions.
Yeah.
If AI can dissect a film's emotional impact like that, does it take away from the magic of cinema?
Right.
Does it mean there's a formula for good storytelling?
Right. And that's where our curveball comes in the French New Wave. Now, before you think we've gone completely off topic,
Okay.
I promise this ties into everything we've been discussing.
This is where understanding a bit of film history can really illuminate the current moment. The French New Wave back in the 1950s and 60s was all about shaking up the established filmmaking rules. They were rebels, pioneers, using handheld cameras, jump cuts, shooting on location in ways that felt jarring and fresh at the time.
Okay, I'm starting to see the connection here. So just like the French New Wave directors were using new techniques to tell stories in a different way, AI is offering a whole new set of tools to experiment with.
Precisely. And a key concept from the French New Wave was the auteur theory. This idea that the director is the true author of a film, their personal style and vision shining through in every creative choice.
So how does that auteur theory hold up in a world where AI is becoming so prevalent? Are we headed for a future of cookie-cutter films, all optimized for maximum emotional impact but lacking that unique directorial stamp?
That's the million-dollar question. But I think the French New Wave example shows us that it's not about the tools themselves, but how they're used. AI doesn't diminish the role of the director, the screenwriter, the cinematographer. It augments it. It's about creative collaboration, not replacement.
Okay, I'm with you on that. But I'm still curious about the practicalities. How is all of this actually playing out on the ground? I mean, are there AI casting directors roaming the studio lots now?
Well, not quite roaming the lots, at least not yet. But AI is already making its presence felt behind the scenes. Take casting, for example. Imagine sifting through thousands of headshots and resumes, trying to find the perfect actor for a role. It's a time-consuming, often subjective process.
Yeah, sounds like my nightmare. I can barely decide what to have for breakfast, let alone choose between 1,000 actors for a starring role.
Exactly. But this is where AI can be incredibly helpful. AI tools can analyze massive databases of actors, considering factors like physical appearance experience, even their social media presence, to find potential matches for a character.
So it's like having a superpowered casting assistant, but without the need for coffee breaks or sleep.
Exactly. And it goes beyond just matching physical characteristics. AI can analyze an actor's past performances, even their micro-expressions, to predict how they might embody a particular role.
Wow, that's wild. It's like AI is developing this whole new level of insight into what makes an actor right for a part.
And let's not forget about the script itself. Now, I'm not saying AI is about to replace human screenwriters entirely, but it can be an invaluable tool during the writing process.
So like a robot script doctor, I've always wondered what those guys actually do.
Well, traditionally, a script doctor is brought in to polish up a screenplay, maybe punch up the dialogue or fix plot holes. And that's something AI can assist with as well. There are programs that can analyze successful screenplays, identifying common themes, character archetypes, even the pacing and structure of scenes.
So you could feed it like all of Quentin Tarantino's films.
Yeah.
And it could spit out a script with snappy dialogue and over-the-top violence. Not that I'm advocating for more violence, of course.
Well, not exactly. It's not about simply replicating a director's style, but about identifying those underlying patterns and elements that make a story engaging. And that can be incredibly freeing for writers, allowing them to focus on the heart of the story, the characters, the themes, while AI helps them fine-tune the structure and pacing.
Okay, so we've got AI casting agents, AI script doctors. What happens when we actually get to set? Is the director going to be replaced by a robot with a beret and a megaphone?
Not quite yet, but AI is already having a major impact on the technical aspects of filmmaking, especially in the realm of special effects and CGI. Think about all those blockbuster films with fantastical creatures and epic battles. Those require teams of talented artists working for months, sometimes years, to create.
And probably fueled by endless amounts of pizza and energy drinks.
I imagine so. But AI is changing the game here as well. There are now programs that can learn from existing footage and generate incredibly realistic CGI elements much faster and more efficiently.
So are you telling me that we could have a whole movie starring realistic-looking dinosaurs and it wouldn't cost a Jurassic fortune?
Well, I don't know about a Jurassic fortune, but it certainly makes the process more accessible and allows filmmakers to focus more on the creative aspects of visual storytelling.
This is blowing my mind. But what happens when the director yells, "cut"? Does AI just clock out for the day?
Actually, post-production is another area where AI is making huge strides. Editing, for example, is traditionally a very labor-intensive process, but AI tools can now analyze footage, identify the best takes, and even assemble rough cuts based on the director's stylistic preferences.
So it's like having a super efficient editing assistant who never needs a break or complains about tight deadlines.
Precisely. And it goes beyond just the basics. AI can be used for color grading, sound mixing, even automatically adding subtitles or translating dialogue into different languages.
Wow, so AI is not just changing how films are made, but who can make them?
Yeah.
This is democratizing filmmaking in a way we haven't seen before.
Absolutely, and that's what's so exciting. As these AI tools become more sophisticated and accessible, we're likely to see an explosion of new voices and perspectives in cinema.
Okay, so it all sounds pretty amazing so far.
Yeah.
But this is where I have to ask the tough questions.
Right.
What about the human element of filmmaking? Will we lose that some of that emotional connection that makes movies so powerful?
Right.
And it's exciting to think about all the possibilities, but honestly, a part of me wonders, will AI suck the soul out of movies? I mean, we connect with films because they reflect our humanity, our emotions. Can an algorithm really replicate that?
It's the question on everyone's mind, isn't it? And there are valid concerns on both sides. Some worry we'll end up with a sea of formulaic films, all expertly crafted to hit those emotional beats, but lacking that spark of originality.
Right, like those movies that feel more like they were built in a lab than born out of someone's unique vision.
Exactly. But here's the thing. AI tools are just that, tools. They're only as good as the humans wielding them.
So it's less about AI taking over and more about filmmakers using AI to tell stories in bolder, more imaginative ways.
Precisely.
Yeah.
Think about it. AI can help identify blind spots, challenge our assumptions, even offer up ideas a human might never have considered. That's not a threat to creativity, that's a pathway to a whole new world of storytelling possibilities.
I like where you're going with this. It's almost like every time there's been a major technological shift in filmmaking, from the introduction of sound to the CGI revolution, there's this initial fear that it's the end of artistry as we know it.
And yet here we are, still moved by stories on screen. What those advancements did was provide a new canvas, a new set of tools for filmmakers to explore and express themselves. AI has that same potential to push the boundaries of how stories are told.
This makes me think about that quote. I think it was Picasso talking about computers. They are good for nothing but giving you answers. It's not about the answers AI provides, but about the questions we ask in the first place.
That's the heart of it. And it brings us back to the auteur, that directorial voice we were discussing earlier. Just like those French New Wave directors used new techniques to express their unique perspectives, AI can empower filmmakers to translate their visions onto the screen with even greater precision and impact.
It's almost like a paradox. AI, this seemingly cold and calculated technology, could actually lead to a renaissance of auteur filmmaking.
It's entirely possible. Imagine directors collaborating with AI to create truly personalized films, pushing the boundaries of narrative and form, crafting experiences tailored to specific audiences, or exploring universal themes in entirely new ways.
Now, that's a future I can get behind. So where does this leave us, the eager moviegoers, caught in the middle of this AI revolution?
That's the real takeaway from our deep dive today. AI's influence on filmmaking is still unfolding. It's full of potential, but also uncertainty. And frankly, it's up to all of us as both creators and consumers to shape how this technology impacts the art of storytelling.
So the next time you're engrossed in a film, take a moment to consider, could this have been made differently with AI? What choices were made? What risks were taken to make you feel this way?
Because that's where the true magic lies, isn't it? In that alchemy of human creativity and technological innovation coming together to tell stories that resonate, that make us think, feel, and connect with the world in new and surprising ways.
Well said. And on that note, that's a wrap on our deep dive into AI and the future of filmmaking.
Yeah.
Until next time, keep asking questions, keep exploring, and keep that popcorn handy, because the show's just getting started.